All right. Hello, everyone. Again, I want to thank you for taking your time today. And Miss Lizzie, how are you doing?
Um, I'm okay, I guess. I'm here.
Okay. Well,
So,
I'm glad that you're here. It sounds like, there might be some things you want to discuss, which is why we're in session right now. And how are you doing, Mr. P?
I got some stuff I got to get off my mind, off my chest. I'm not even wanting to be here, but I got some stuff to get off my chest. Let's get this show on roll.
Okay, well, let's get to it. So who would like to go first as far as any recent issues since our last session?
I got one. I got one.
Okay.
You don't even need to talk. I'm gonna say it all because this is how she is all the time. You see how she's all sassy, like she's not even giving good eye contact. That just shows you that she has no respect. Well, I'm gonna tell you.
if you say so.
I, I do say so. If I may, if I may, if I may, can I be the adult?
He's like this all the time.
I tell you what.
All the time.
Let me just tell you what's going on there, counselor. Okay, she actually has the audacity to just dress any way going to school. You know, I have to be a representation for our family. And anybody associated with me is also a representation for our family. I got it. We're doing
This isn't my family, though.
You are supposed to just be quiet, young lady.
Okay, let's time out. Let's time out. I definitely see that we are on different wavelengths here. The idea is for us to work together to see how we can learn to compromise. So the very first thing that you open with, Pete, you said about disrespect, and then you also talked about how she was dressing, and also you talked about, I guess, her role as the younger approaching adult in the home. So, Pete, tell me what you want to try to discuss in this session. What is immediate urgency for you?
Okay. So I have what I think a young person should dress like when they're in public and going to school. I also have to think about the bigger picture. She has younger siblings. She's got a 10-year-old brother and she's got a 6-year-old sister. They are watching her every move. If I cannot establish a respectable standard, even as is something as small as clothing, how can I, as a future parent, be able to represent the household the way it should be represented?
And Lizzie, I would like you to chime in. What do you think about what Pete had to say?
Well, I feel like they are trying to change the way that me and my siblings operate. I've been taking care of them for so long now, and we've been doing things, and I feel like it's been working. But now they want me to come and move into their home and change everything about myself and pretend to be my parents, but they haven't even taken the time to get to know me.
Okay, well, now we're getting to the core of things, aren't we? So, Pete, what do you think about what Lizzie had to say there? I mean, she said they've been operating without you guys up until this point, and now since you guys are trying to work as a cohesive unit, she doesn't feel the need. So, what do you say to that, Pete?
Okay, so let's say I do hear her about being on her own, having to have to take care of her siblings, with the other foster parents and everything there. I can concede to that. But the way I was raised, and I know everybody thinks that the adults are not able to adapt, but the way I was raised, there's a respect that should happen. And when being addressed by an adult, you don't question things if you're not essentially paying the bills. I mean, what it comes down to is I'm the one that's paying the bills. Her role as a teenager is not the adult. Her role has to change to some degree. I'm not saying that you can't look out for your siblings. I'm not at all. And I'm not even saying that you have to change a little bit. I'm asking you to just give me a little bit. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe you can tell me what that looks like to you.
Well, I just feel like I'm only going to be here temporarily. Eventually, you guys are going to get tired of us, or my mom is going to come back and get us. So, what's the point of readjusting and following your ways if I'm going to be leaving soon? You probably don't even want us here to begin with.
Now, if I may interject, because I'm hearing a lot of things that it sounds like hasn't been talked about yet, and that tends to happen when you move in to a new environment. You guys both have very important things that need to be discussed, and obviously it's not going to be tend to in this one session. So what I would like to definitely address with Lizzie, you said, what's the point of going through these changes if they're not even going to keep me or your siblings or all of you guys? Pete, I think that is something that's very important to address. What do you say to that?
Well, Lizzie, I'm gonna tell you, my wife and I, when we thought about it at first, yes, we were taken back. We were expecting one child and we have three. And yes, it is stressful, but we love what you all are doing for us and to us. We want to have you on a permanent basis. We're in this program to be able to learn about each other. And we know that's a lifelong process, but we've never been foster parents before. We've never been parents before. And especially with people that are almost adults. You're 15, 16, you're almost an adult, and here it is. I'm now expected to get in here and act as a parent. And I'm not sure where to begin. I'm now asking for some assistance. I'm still saying that I'm the parent, and you can feel confident that you can trust or lean on me. And maybe you have to just give me a little bit. If you give me a little bit, you'll be able to see that we are here for the long run, not for any short stay. I understand your past. I can't control your past. This is where I am right now. What is your thoughts on that?
I think if you're not going to force us to change, or at least force me to change, and I know that you say that you guys are here for the long run, and I guess I have to be open to believing that in a sense. But I guess I am willing to at least try this, since I guess I don't really have any other choice to leave. So I can be willing to try and see what happens. But I still think my mom is going to come, but I'm willing to try in the meantime while I'm here.
Now, Lizzie, I think, what you're saying is valid. It is a possibility that mom will come and retrieve the three of you guys. But if that does not happen, it's probably best to try to consider in your mind that maybe we want to treat this as a long haul instead. Because I know you guys have been bounced around, and of course that's made you guys feel unstable, and rightfully so. Your feelings are valid. But he is trying to give an olive branch, and he's trying to work on what he can do differently so that you guys are more of a cohesive unit. So, Lizzie, what will it take for you to somewhat put your guards down a little bit so that you can be more um, a part of the process, so you guys are more of a unit?
I think if we could just take it one step at a time. I think since being here, I feel like everything has been a huge change, but I feel like it's like a constant change. Like it's like we are expected to kind of just go from one thing to the next thing automatically just from moving in. So I think if maybe the expectations could go one day at a time. I think he had brought up like the clothes I was wearing. For me, this is like my normal clothes. So it's like to be yelled at for wearing the clothes that I've been wearing, it's kind of like it makes me want to go back into my shell because now I feel like somebody just came and grabbed me and now all of a sudden they're making me change really fast. So maybe if we could do things one step at a time and not, yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense, Lizzie. What I would ask you though is, how could he have said that differently to where you're not on the defense? Because his concern is how others may portray you. I understand how people dress. That's a form of expression. So I know that that's probably primarily where you're coming from, and to have to change that form of expression might be, a little perturbing. And I can understand that because, like I said, you guys have been operating pretty much on your own, raising your own selves because you guys have been bounced around. So how could Pete deliver that message to where you're not feeling attacked?
Um, Maybe without yelling at me. Maybe if he would have just asked me, if I had other clothes to wear instead of just yelling at me and telling me that I need to just change my clothes and get in a car. I think I think if he could have just said it without the aggression, then maybe I would have took it better.
Now, I see what you're doing in the
See?
background, Pete. Um, so I believe I understand where you're coming from as far as how Lizzie chooses to express herself. But when she's telling you about how you could, you know, come to her or express your concerns, is that not something that you're able to do? Or do you think that it doesn't matter how you deliver the message? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Look, I get it. Back in the day, I had my boom box. We used to walk down the street and we used to blare our rap, Run DMC and everything there. And people thought that we were estranged and we were trying to just express ourselves for who we were. But there's a time and place for everything. And even that boombox had to go. It became inappropriate. Okay, so I get a little excited. All right. I was military for a long time. And now you're expecting me to just change. Okay, so I will admit I have a little bit of growing in this area, expressing myself. I apologize, Lizzie, for the way that I came to you. But I would like it if we can at least agree to some degree on what appropriate is. I mean, you have it at mid thigh. I'm thinking it should go down to the ankle. Maybe the happy medium is just at the knees. I don't know. I'm just saying,
Well, I'll say this. The clothes that I have is the clothes that I brought. You guys haven't even taken us shopping to even buy new clothes. So you can't complain about the clothes that I'm wearing if that's the clothes that I have.
I think
That's
that's
a
fair enough.
I'm sorry, that was a very great point, Lizzie, in regards to the clothing. So that would give you guys an opportunity to kind of learn each other's expectations, and then at the same time, see what the compromise could be as far as what Lizzie chooses to express herself. But Pete, I do want to say, when you apologize to her, it didn't seem as authentic. Um, so again, you are the parent, you are the head of the household, and I can appreciate where you're coming from as far as what is the expectation of a child in the home, especially when you're the one that's securing the home, if you will. I believe that's your stance. So I'm definitely seeing that a lot of the conflict here, different backgrounds, different generational difference in expectations. So we want to make sure to forge an opportunity for both sides to be heard, because although Pete, you were 15 years old at one time, you were never a 15-year-old girl. Okay? So Lizzie, at the same token, you have not been at Pete's age. And I hope there are no issues where you don't even go beyond that age. So we just have to keep that in mind when we're addressing one another. Okay. So I think, Lizzie, you did a great job of expressing what you would like to see. But what I would like to also see, Lizzie, is what will you do if he is providing that olive branch? What olive branch are you going to extend to Pete?
I think maybe I can be less difficult
How do you,
and cooperate a little bit more. I think sometimes I am a little hard on him because I feel like he's trying to fit into this position that I'm not ready for somebody to try to be. Because in my mind, I feel like I already have a parent, so I don't understand why somebody else is trying to pretend to be my parent. But I think that I can at least give him cut him some slack, I guess, because I guess that he is trying in his own way. So I think I can kind of just be less difficult and more understanding of the fact that they're trying as well and just kind of meet them halfway with this adjustment.
and Pete, I know you're gonna try, especially since you want to make sure to set an example for the kids about listening and establishing a better rapport, so that when there are concerns, because there will continue to be concerns, how to approach them in a more healthy way. So the challenge again, and this is for everyone in the household, is actually listening to what's being said, making sure that there's not any rude remarks or condescending remarks or yelling, sarcasm, and just being kind to one another. Expect that you guys are going to have your differences and learn to work how to communicate better. I mean, everybody has a different background here, so we have to be cognizant of that. You know, Pete is probably late 40s. He's taking you guys into your home. I know for you, Lizzie, you don't know if the time will be up soon or not, but just try to keep in mind that it's not something that has to be done, and they're doing it in the kindness of their own heart, and they want you guys to be there. Because if they didn't want you guys to be there, they wouldn't have even been in this arena of trying to even, you know, make the cohesive unit better than what it is now. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, and Pete, what lasting remarks would you like to say before we end our session today?
All I have to say is, right now, you don't have to call me a parent. or call me your dad or any of that, or if it ever happens. What I would like to see moving forward is just to be respected as an adult in your life. I'll start there. And where things go from there, well, we'll let time decide that. That's all I have.
Okay.
Well, if neither of you guys have anything else, I just want to thank you guys for coming and taking the time. This is already showing progress. You know, we don't know, or can we help sometimes with cards we're dealt, but we have to work with what we have. And I see that you guys are making an earnest effort in doing that. And it's not something that happens overnight, as you know. You guys have different backgrounds, you guys have different ways of thinking. And so the best thing here, and that's with any unit, is just to respect, even if there are differences in how you approach one another. So I look forward to working with all of you guys in the future. I believe we have another appointment coming up. Please, if there's any issues that come to the forefront, please write them down so you don't forget, because we definitely want to address it together so that the next time you guys can practice on your own different techniques. Does that sound good for you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys again, and you guys take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.